Hello, my name is Debra May Macleod, and I'm an author of historical fiction on the Vestal virgins of ancient Rome. The Vestals were priestesses who were tasked with keeping the eternal flame of the goddess Vesta burning in her temple in the Roman Forum. This is an illustration of what it looked like, circular, with an oculus in the domed roof through which the smoke from the sacred fire could escape. Vestals lived very privileged lives and are intimately connected with the history of Rome and the founding of the city, and they were central to the religion of Rome. And that religion of Rome, that's a very ritualized, very formal thing. So when I was writing my novels, I knew that the Vestals would have had very precise practices for maintaining that sacred fire, rites and rituals and customs that would have been passed down through the generations of Vestals that served in the temple. They would have had a way to read the flames, to interpret the signs from the goddess, to maintain the Pax Deorum, or the peace with the gods. When writing my novels, I had to formalize that system. To do that, I studied the ancient literary sources on divination, on various rites and religious implements, on how the gods were honored, including how Vesta was honored by her priestesses. So I read Cicero, Festus, Ovid, Gellius, and others. And of course, we know that certain Roman practices reach back to pre Roman times, so the times of the Greeks and the Etruscans. I studied those as well and incorporated elements of augury, omens, and symbolism. I also researched archaeological finds, what kinds of religious vessels were found and where, what kinds of offerings were made. I studied ancient works of art, statues, and frescoes, and what they were depicting. I studied numismatics and the imagery on ancient coins. And then I used all of this to formulate a system that the Vestals may have used to read the flames that burned on the altar, to read the smoke and the shifting of the wood, the ash, and how they might do all of that to divine the will of the goddess. Because I'm not just a student of Vesta spirituality, but also of history, and I wanted to make sure that any religious system I presented was historically relevant. Once I did that, it was a small step to go from reading the flame in a fire bowl on an altar to reading the flame on a candle, and to focusing the process on a person's personal life. So, focusing on issues like relationships and finances and career, on deciding what choices are in your best interests, and how to better understand your life, past, present, and future. It is a fairly formal system of candle reading, very detailed, and even though I'm not going into the details of the process or the various ways that I employ it, I hope I've given you an idea of its methodology. So when you watch one of my candle reading videos, you can feel confident that we're doing something special. We're tapping into very ancient practices and principles. In this clip, for example, you'll see a purple candle. I've used this to represent Jupiter, since purple is the color of power, of royalty. So this candle burning will focus on issues of power. You'll see that the candle is burning on a circular bronze plate. That's because the sacred fire burned in a round bronze fireball. You'll see the Luna marble, Carrara marble in the background, the same marble that's used on the ancient temple. You'll see various offerings in terracotta vessels. You'll see a votive offering. This is actually a 3rd century piece from my collection, and if you look closely, you'll see evidence that it's actually been placed in an ancient sacred fire. I love having that presence here. So again, as you watch my candle reading videos, you'll get a better sense of the actual process, the details of the process. But here, I just wanted to give you a quick background so that you know that there's more to each video than what you're seeing on the screen. But I also want you to know that although this process can be enlightening, it should also be fun. Candle reading is just a fun thing to do. It's ethereal. So whether you watch my videos and you get into candle reading for deeper introspection, or you just do it in a really light-hearted way, it can bring something useful to your life. Thanks for watching. I invite you to visit my website at allthingsvesta.com, where you can learn more about the history of the Vestal Virgins in Rome, and even about how Vesta is honored today in the lives of many people.